She stood in front of my gate, arms crossed like she owned the place. The HOA president, everyone in the neighborhood called her Karen, was red-faced, yelling into her phone. "Yes, officer, he's refusing to comply. He says he's not under our HOA. Her voice cracked as she pointed at me, like she was exposing a criminal. I leaned on my fence post, calm as ever. "That's because I'm not," I said. "This land was never part of your HOA. But Karen didn't hear a thing. She was too busy acting like she ran the world. Minutes later, 2 patrol cars rolled up, lights flashing. Karen smirked, whispering to her friends, "He's done now." Watched her like someone watching a toddler throw a tantrum, amused, but ready for what came next. The officer stepped out, but something about them made Karen's smile fade. Their uniforms weren't local police, they were my private security team. The same men who guarded the high-profile estates up in the hills. Karen blinked, confused. "What's going on?" "I called the cops." One of the officers removed his sunglasses and looked straight at her. "Ma'am, this property isn't under your HOA's jurisdiction. You're trespassing." Karen's mouth dropped open. "Trespassing? Me?" I didn't say a word. I just gave a small nod to the team, and one of them handed me the report. I'd been waiting for the legal documents proving the HOA had no claim over my land. Karen's face turned pale as she realized what she'd just done, calling in fake authority on someone who actually had more power than her. And in that silence between us, I just smiled and said quietly, "Next time you call for help, make sure it's really yours to call." Karen's confidence shattered, but she tried to recover fast. "This isn't over," she shouted, snatching her phone again. "You can't just buy land and claim you're above the rules." I could see her hands trembling. She was furious that her power play had backfired. Behind her, a couple of HOA members whispered nervously, realizing she might have gone too far this time. "Ma'am," my head of security, James, said firmly, "you're interfering with a private residence. We suggest you leave." Karen scoffed. "You think you can scare me with your fake badges?" She stepped forward, waving her phone. "I've already called the real police." "You'll all be arrested for intimidation." I folded my arms. "Good," I said quietly. "Let's wait for them together." Minutes later, 2 county sheriff SUVs rolled up, dust swirling around their tires. Karen's expression flipped from rage to triumph. "Finally! Arrest him!" she yelled as the sheriffs got out. But the lead deputy looked straight at me and grinned. "Morning, sir," he said. "Didn't expect to see you dealing with this mess again." Karen froze. You know him?" The deputy nodded. "Yeah, he's the property owner here. We provide security coordination for his estate." Karen's jaw tightened. "That's impossible. His land falls under HOA map section B." The deputy cut her off. "Not since the county rezoned it 2 years ago. You're standing on land that's outside your HOA." The crowd that had gathered nearby went silent. Even Karen's so-called friends slowly stepped back, not wanting to be part of her disaster anymore. She looked at me with pure disbelief. "You set this up, didn't you?" I smiled faintly. "No, Karen, you set yourself up the moment you tried to play law on someone else's land." The deputy turned toward her. "Ma'am, I'm going to need to see your ID." Her phone slipped from her hand, and for the first time that day, Karen didn't have a word to say. Karen's arrogance started to melt into fear. The crowd was whispering now, phones out, cameras rolling. The once powerful HOA queen suddenly looked small under the flashing lights. The deputy asked again, "Ma'am, your ID." Karen stammered, You don't understand. I'm the president of the HOA. These rules apply to everyone." I stepped closer, keeping my voice calm. "Except me. Because this property was never yours to control." I pulled a folded document from my jacket and handed it to the deputy. "This is the county's exemption notice, signed by your office." He nodded, confirming. "That's right. He's telling the truth. Your HOA's authority ends half a mile before his gate." Karen's voice cracked. "But he uses our roads. Our trash service." James, my security lead, chuckled. "We built our own access road last year. And as for trash, private service, ma'am, everything you thought you owned, you don't." The deputy sighed. "Ma'am, you've been warned before about harassment. You're officially trespassing and obstructing private security operations. You need to leave now." Karen's face turned red again, but this time it wasn't anger, it was humiliation. She looked around at her neighbors filming her breakdown, and her voice went shaky. "This isn't fair. He's making a fool out of me. I looked her straight in the eye. You did that yourself, Karen. The deputy motioned toward his car. Let's go, ma'am. As they led her away, she twisted back one last time. You'll regret this. You can't just ignore the HOA. I smiled faintly. Watch me. The crowd clapped quietly as the sheriff's car rolled off. The air finally felt peaceful again. James turned to me. That could have gone worse. I nodded. Yeah, but it's not the first time someone tried to claim what's mine. I looked at the mountains behind my home. Sunlight cutting through the trees. People like her forget one thing. James raised an eyebrow. What's that? I smiled. You can't control freedom. And as the gate closed behind us, the cameras stopped recording, but I knew one thing for sure. This story wasn't ending online. It was just beginning to spread. Some people build fences to keep others out. I build mine to keep my peace in. The end. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel for more amazing HOA stories.